results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh yeah, the patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HUNK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text HUNK to 42424. That's HUNK to 42424.
Ever wonder how the credit card companies make their money? Well, think about this. If you owe $25,000 on 5 different credit cards and you make your minimum payments every month, here's what it's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over $13,000 in additional interest, and it's going to take over 13 years to pay off your original $25,000 balance. That's how they make money. Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. We promise we can and will reduce your debt. Call right now for a free 15-minute debt analysis.
800-932-5112. 800-932-5112. 800-932-5112. That's 800-932-5112.
Online at myclallamcounty.com.
From
Newsradio
ABC News.
KONP, Port Angeles.
I'm Daria Albinger. Hamas releases 2 more hostages. The Israeli hostage center says the 2 elderly Israeli women were handed over at the Rafah crossing to the Red Cross. Spokesman Jason Strayuso.
We are in direct contact with Hamas. We're in direct contact with the Israelis. Both sides understand that we're a neutral intermediary, and they have seen us play this role for decades.
Israel believes Hamas is still holding more than 200 hostages, including about 10 Americans. 9 Republicans who are running for Speaker of the House make their pitches to their colleagues in a closed-door meeting tonight. The party infighting now spilling over into the presidential campaign.
Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie on the campaign trail in South Carolina with a message for his Republican colleagues on Capitol Hill as they scramble to elect a new House Speaker.
Just pick someone. Just pick someone because Israel needs help. Ukraine needs help.
Christie calling on lawmakers to act on the president's $106 billion emergency assistance package in hopes of deterring future conflicts.
We need to send a message to the Chinese now that Taiwan will be ready if they come.
Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Police in Detroit are still looking for a suspect in the killing of a synagogue president. Samantha Wall fatally stabbed outside her home on Saturday. Police do not believe it was motivated by anti-Semitism.
We have and are in the process of conducting countless interviews to learn everything about Ms. Wall's life, including any possible motive or opportunity to harm her.
Deputy Chief Carrie Sloan. President Biden wants to expand tech hubs beyond Silicon Valley and the Northeast. He announced the winners of a contest for communities to become tech leaders, 31 of them. At the closing bell, the Dow was down about 190 points. You're listening to ABC News.
This is good news, maybe exactly when you need it to. Right now, switching to MediShare can save you even more than usual on top of what you'll save each month by becoming a member of MediShare. So many people are looking for a healthcare solution right now, especially given how inflation is affecting us. And MediShare is the affordable, reliable alternative to health insurance. The typical family saves about $500 a month. You might save even more. And MediShare is a Christian community that's been sharing each other's healthcare costs for 30 years now, and they're making it easier than ever. Apply by October 31st, and you can save an additional $150 on your first month. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just tell them the promo code SHARE to get your additional savings. Maybe now is the time to make the switch, like more than 400,000 people already have, and start saving. Here it is. It's 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE, 877-26-BIBLE.
After months, the president of Turkey takes steps which could allow Sweden to join NATO.
President Erdogan had been delaying ratification of Sweden's membership, accusing Stockholm of being too soft on Kurdish militants and other groups he considers to be security threats. Turkey also was angered by a series of Quran-burning protests in Sweden. But weighing it all up, he's now siding with all of the other NATO allies except for Hungary, which also must ratify it. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
$10,000 reward in Maryland for a man suspected of killing a judge.
49-year-old Pedro Argote on the run from Hagerstown, Maryland, and police say with ties to several other states, including New York, Indiana, North Carolina, and Florida. He's wanted for the shooting death of Judge Andrew Wilkinson on Saturday as he sat in his car in his own driveway. Investigators say Judge Wilkinson presided over Argote's contentious divorce, awarding full custody of his children to his wife, ordering him to pay $1,100 a month in child support and to have no contact with him.
ABC's Derek Dennis. A court in Iran has sentenced 2 journalists to up to 7 years in prison. The women are accused of collaborating with the U.S. government and other charges, according to local reports. Both of the women have been imprisoned for over a year following their coverage of the death of Mahsa Amini while in police custody in September of 2022. This is ABC News.
Here's a message just for the attorneys out there. So you passed the bar, joined a firm, or even built your own. Now are you finding out that you're doing more administration than actual law practice? Lexicon can help. Lexicon is a legal technology provider with over a decade of experience streamlining administrative tasks like timekeeping, billing, and more, so you can focus on maximizing billable hours and increasing client satisfaction. Call 855-4-LEXICON or visit lexiconservices.com/go to learn more.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Hello, this is Jim Hegwood, candidate for position number 5 on the Port Angeles City Council. My family and I are lifelong residents of the area and care deeply about the community. As a candidate, I have the experience in business, local and national economic development, and housing. I ask for your vote in the upcoming general election. I am Jim Hegwood, candidate for Port Angeles City Council. I approve this ad.
Paid for by Jim Hegwood for City Council.
Your finish comes first at First Race.
It's so hard to find a good time to wash your car or truck. Why not let the friendly folks at First Race Car Wash do the job in minutes? Get a wash and polish wax and fill up with high-quality Union 76 gas. Diesel's also available at First Race Car Wash.
You're a winner every time when you've got that First Race shine.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results, 457-6600. Now that work's begun on replacing the Elwha Bridge on Highway 101 west of Port Angeles, there's a plan to construct 12 engineered log jams, structures designed to mimic natural river dynamics downriver from the project to ensure healthy salmon habitat. Olympic National Park seeking public input on the plan. They have an environmental assessment they have out. A portion of the project's being constructed on lands temporarily administered by Olympic National Park. You can make comments on the plan and check it out at the park's Planning, Environment, and Public Comment site online.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast. Highs level off around 55 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies. West winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Chance for scattered showers tonight. Lows around 40. Cloudy skies. Scattered rain showers likely tomorrow. Highs level off around 48. Cloudy skies expected. Mid-40s Wednesday and Thursday with showers possible both days. I'm weatherology meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 56 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
And welcome to the program. Going to continue meeting the candidates this week. We've got a whole bunch more of the candidate forums. We're focusing now on the Sequim area candidates as we started last week. And we're going to continue this week for the next couple of days with multiple candidates coming in today, as we did last Thursday as well. And we're going to start things off in the first half with the Sequim City Council position number 6 candidates, Harmony Rudder and Patrick Day. And they both joining us in the studios today. Thanks both of you for coming in today. It's great to have you both here.
Thank you.
And we're going to give each of you a couple of minutes for an opening statement, and Harmony's going to go first. So a couple of minutes about you.
Well, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Harmony Rudder, and I am running for Sequim City Council Position 6. Thank you, Todd, for inviting me here today, and thank you, Patrick, for agreeing to do this forum. I have a unique experience that has provided me with the ability to relate to people from all walks of life. Growing up in Kitsap County, my multicultural home showed me that it is so important to listen and reflect before taking action. I graduated from Pacific Lutheran University in 2008 with a Bachelor of Arts, where I was involved in the vocal music program, student government, and the College of Liberal Studies in the departments of both economics and Hispanic and Latino studies. Since 2021, I have loved working 3 part-time jobs that tap into my many talents, feed my soul, and make a difference in the lives of those that I serve. Those jobs are as a self-employed horticultural service provider, program assistant for a volunteer community educator organization, and the music director hybrid technology consultant for the Olympic UU Fellowship. That's Unitarian Universalist. I'm also the mom of 2 amazing kids. My partner and I are grateful to be on the path of life together, sharing the joys and challenges of co-parenting. While I believe the future of our planet will be challenging, I maintain hope and look forward to collaborating with my neighbors to build a resilient community. I moved to Sequim 5 years ago this December with my family and can see that while the weather is a little sunnier than what I was used to in Kitsap, the people here are just as friendly and the view of the mountains is just as beautiful. A consistent thread through my 15-year career has been the importance of building consensus, working with diverse groups of people, and creating positive change. I care deeply about working with organizations within our society that increase accessibility to information and resources to strengthen our community, and that is why I know I will be a great Sequim City Councilor. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Harmony. Patrick, over to you, a bit about why you're running.
Thank you, Todd, and thank you, Harmony, for joining us. A little bit about me. I was born here in Washington State. My dad was in the military. I graduated from Lemoore High School in California, joined the military, became a EOD expert, and then joined law enforcement. Been in law enforcement for over 30 years. A union activist, 27 of the 30 years in the union. I've been an activist, still in the union. I'm on the retired chapter. I was a trustee for a $1 billion trust for CCPOA Benefit Trust. So I already know how to deal with budgets, know how to talk with people, de-escalate situations, have a lot of experience, worldly traveled from my military experience, been involved in multiple conflicts, unfortunately, throughout the world. I was involved in Desert Storm, Panama, Kosovo, Bosnia, you name it. Over the last 20 years, it's been one of those things. But I joined this race because I believe there's a lot that can be done in our community. Our community is a beautiful community. I want to help keep it that way. But we also have to look for innovations to move forward, help with our tax base and stuff like that. One of the things I'm very interested in getting involved in with the city council is the budget. Also, I want to really work hard on workforce housing, dealing with those issues. I think we need to be able to have people that can want to come and work in this community do that. My experience as a criminal justice major when I was in college, or when I went to college, I have so much to offer running the union, running people. And I think being able to communicate with different people from different walks of life is one of the things that has been sorely missed within all communities, not just ours, nationwide, where people don't want to talk to people, they want to talk at people. And I think one of the biggest things as a city council member is you have to understand when people come to you and have issues, they have an issue, so you need to take it serious. Even if you can't help them, but you still have to take it serious and then explain why you can or can't help them. I know I went off topic a little bit there, but thank you very much, Todd.
All right, let's get into a couple of questions. So we'll go over to you first, Harmony, for this one. Certainly, housing is a big issue everywhere. Sequim's facing it just the same. So if elected, how do you deal with affordable housing, especially? Because I think that's one of the biggest issues in Sequim. And do you have any specific ideas that you would bring?
Yes, thank you so much. I envision a resilient community with a prosperous economy and a place for everybody. In the last 18 months, the City Council has changed the zoning to allow for more multifamily housing projects. They have also agreed to waive 50% of the park impact fees for affordable housing projects. Recently, the City Council and staff have partnered with Habitat for Humanity to apply for a CHIP grant, that's also known as the Connecting Housing to Infrastructure Program, for a new multifamily housing project on Brownfield Road. I hope that developers will hear that we want to be a part of the housing crisis solution here in Sequim, and they will create more affordable options for our citizens. The essential workers, service industry staff, our small businesses, and local schools all need places for working folks and families to call home. While knocking on doors and introducing myself to voters over the weekend, I spoke with someone who's living in one of the apartment complexes in downtown Sequim. They are very concerned that they will become homeless. They shared some numbers with me, and I did the math. They moved into their home in 2016, and between then and now, their rent has increased by approximately 65%. On average, the Consumer Price Index changes by 2%, but as can be seen on the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics website, the CPI has increased by 7.5% in 2022 and 6.4% in 2023. I believe this is as our economy tries to recover from the lingering effects of the global pandemic. I know that everyone is dealing with these big changes as best they can, but we owe it to those in our community who are living on a fixed income to help them avoid losing their home. During the last budget, our city allocated less than 1.3% towards organizations such as the Sequim Food Bank, the Sequim Health and Housing Collaborative, and the Shipley Center. On average, Washington cities across our state have put 4% of their budget towards supporting human and community services. I believe as a city we can and should creatively and carefully review the budget and look for outside funding sources such as grants, state and or federal funding to find out how to allocate more spending in this area without pulling money from the general or rainy day funds of the city. Thank you for that question.
All right, same question, Patrick. How would you deal with affordable housing?
Well, affordable housing is an issue nationwide. It's not just our issue, it's an issue nationwide. I came from a city that was almost 5 times the size of our city, but had half the budget that our city does. So that's why I want to look at the budget. I think there's a lot of fat within our budget that is not being used properly. One of the issues I had last time when I ran, I brought it up, was we pay approximately 5 to 7% or 5 to 7 times what someone pays to hook their house if they build a new house or apartment complex up to water and sewage. And no one can explain why we pay so much. If the neighboring communities are paying 5 times less than what we're paying, why is our budget that way? And where is the money going? How do you get affordable housing when you charge someone that builds $20,000 to $25,000 to hook up for the sewage? That goes straight onto the housing cost. They're not going to eat that. So we need to look at that and figure out how to correct that to where they can bring in them. We need more apartments. One of the things I was shocked with is the amount of apartments that we have. Multi-living facilities are great, but everyone wants to build either a duplex or a triplex because we are a retirement community. We need apartments for some of the lower income. We also need to look at putting money towards our teens. How do you get the teens to want to stay here? You got to give them activities to do so they want to stay here and get involved and work. There's a lot of jobs out there that are open, but no one can afford to work them if they have to move here and try to live because you can't get into an apartment. You have no place to live. No one's going to commute to Sequim to work when they can work in their own cities, get pretty much the same amount of money, and they probably have some place to live. So that's a multitask of things that we need to do. Not only do we need to give money to other areas in the society, but the teens, we have to look at that. We have to look at our budget to try to get those costs down for building houses, move the process along quicker so it doesn't take so long to put in the contracts to get done. That's another area that they drag their feet on approving stuff before they do it. So those are areas I'd look at to really try to affect the housing, because if you can bring those costs down, they're going to build more houses and going to lower the cost of the house, which will make it more affordable for everybody. When you only look at the demographics of retirees that are moving here, no one wants to lower the cost for them because they usually have a decent amount of money. So they're building houses to them, not building houses to the workers. And you have to do both.
Patrick, will stay with you on this. Maybe somewhat related to that. You've both referred about the economy or ways that you would like to see the city diversify, make it robust, whatever you might want to call it. So that's the question, Patrick. If elected, how do you see your role in economic development with the city of Sequim?
Economic development's a huge aspect. We need to bring businesses here. One of the things I talked about 2 years ago was high-speed internet. Our internet in this area is horrible compared to other places within the peninsula and the state. So they have high-speed internet on a certain part of the highway, but they won't bring it across. So you need to invite companies to come out here. AT&T, T-Mobile, they don't have it except in select areas. So we need to widen that. As a city, we can offer grants or stuff to these companies to bring it in, which helps all of our citizens, which also invite other businesses like Amazon, other big businesses that have good paying jobs to come into the area. They're not going to come over here. These big businesses won't come over here without high-speed internet. So that has to be a huge focus. They talked about it 2 years ago. They've gotten nowhere with it in 2 years. The current city council hasn't moved forward on that project. And when you bring it up, oh, we're working on it. I don't see how long it takes to work on a subject like that. The other is go through our budget and address the issues in our budget, because I'm sorry, I worked for the state of California. I was the numbers guy in the union. So I went around to institutions and looked at their budgets and found out how much they were either misappropriating or not utilizing properly. There's always some fluff in a budget. You have to cut down on that. Utilize it. And if you're not using it here, let's move that money into another area that we can utilize it better, whether it be for the homeless, whether it be for charities, for the children, for cutting down the cost of what it costs to hook up sewage and that to housing. Those are areas we have to look at. And you have to have someone that has a financial mindset to work with your city employees to do that. Because no offense to most city council members, no offense to Harmony, if you haven't actually looked at a budget, some of those budgets are overwhelming. And then all you do is you sit back and you take the word of everybody that's telling you that may not be in the best interest of the citizens. And you have to look at that and have an understanding, be willing to ask questions, maybe ruffle some feathers every now and then, not intentionally, but to ask the questions to get them to explain why they're actually doing that versus just saying we're doing that because. That's never a good answer. I know I didn't like the answer when my parents gave me that. Do it because. Well, why do I have to do that? That's why you ask the questions. So those are my ideas on working on the budget and the economy. We have a huge budget for the size of our city. Our budget's huge compared to other cities. So yeah, we need to utilize the budget better.
All right, Harmony, economic development, how would you approach that?
So I think that in our region, economic development is a big part of what we need to work on. We need to, I look forward to collaborating with Colleen McAleer and the Economic Development Council locally here. I love that she created the Coffee with Colleen event. I went to several of them during the pandemic when I was able to be there, and that was a very informative experience for me. I look forward to learning, to growing in this role and to learning about budgeting for a city. I am a mom and the primary breadwinner in our family, and so working on our budget is a big part of what I do for my family. I think that a really important piece of it is working for light manufacturing. We don't have the infrastructure to support heavy manufacturing in this region. I want to echo what you were just saying, Patrick, about increasing the quality of our broadband services, about trying to attract light manufacturing here, tech, Amazon, and those would be really beneficial ways for us to grow our region. But we also need to be careful, because I think that while we do want to make sure that our region is growing, we want to make sure that it's growing sustainably. I want to make sure that we're considering the environment, our climate. Water is going to become a big concern for our region in the future. I know that while I was at Riverfest recently, I was reminded by one of the displays that the glaciers in the Olympic National Park are very rapidly melting and disappearing. And on their website, on the National Park's website, you can see that they have a report showing that some estimates show that all of the glaciers in the national park could be gone by 2070. That's a really serious problem, and we really, I think, need to start thinking about that now as a region to help us be resilient. Economic development, yes, but we need to also make sure that we are growing responsibly in this region. Thank you.
All right, we are almost out of time, so I want to give each of our candidates a couple minutes as a closing statement, and we will go, Harmony, to you first. And I always phrase it this way: tell us why we should vote for you in about a minute or so.
Thank you. Well, thanks again for inviting me to this forum. During the local 2021 election, I volunteered with the nonpartisan SQUIM Good Governance League, the SGGL, because I believe so much in showing up to support our democracy. Civic engagement is essential to meet that goal. In March of 2023, the SQUIM Good Governance League asked me to join their slate of endorsed candidates, and due to my prior involvement, they knew who I am and what I stand for. I am so honored that they have trusted me to answer their call and take the next step on the path of public service. As stated on their website, good governance thrives on honesty, integrity, inclusiveness, accountability, using facts, reason, and ethical behaviors to develop nonpartisan solutions that serve and protect the residents of SQUIM. And they will endorse any candidate that meets these criteria, since during the 2021 election, they endorsed a conservative-leaning candidate. I have been impressed with and humbled by the support of this community, and I am impressed with the many local organizations that approached me and asked to endorse my campaign. Those organizations are the SQUIM Good Governance League, the Sierra Club, the Jamestown S'Klallam Tribe, the Clallam County Democrats, the 24th Legislative Democrats, and Indivisible SQUIM. Associating with members of a political party isn't an issue. Pushing partisan politics while serving as a member of the nonpartisan SQUIM City Council is an issue. I want to help facilitate consensus in the community and focus on real, pragmatic solutions designed with the specific needs of SQUIM in mind. Nonpartisan politics are not just relevant in that context, they can only are not just relevant in that context. They just distract and cause harm with the divisive rhetoric, and that's the last thing that SQUIM needs. In closing, because of my concerns for the future of the planet, my campaign materials are eco-conscious. My yard signs and my voter information cards are biodegradable. Yes, that's right. Please feed them to your earthworms. I am answering the call of my community, and I ask for your vote on November 7th. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Harmony. Patrick, over to you. Why should we vote for you?
Well, all I can say is my interest has always been, since I graduated high school, public service. I joined the military, got into law enforcement, been a public servant of one type or another pretty much my whole life, minus from high school on. I believe in helping the community. I do believe that nonpartisan should be nonpartisan. That's why I refuse to take endorsements from anybody or take any money from anybody, because no offense, when you take stuff from people, they expect stuff. So I ran this whole campaign myself. I had nobody I was willing to put on board that endorsed me, because I am truly a nonpartisan. I learned that when I was running in the union. You will always have some people that are detractors. I always try to take those people, and if you could, give them a hug without them getting mad at you, but just let them know we're here, we believe in them. That's what true nonpartisan is. You have to look at all the sides, issues that people you may not agree with, listen to them, take in that information, look at all the information, and do the best that you can for the people. That's what nonpartisan is. Unfortunately, there are groups out there that claim to be nonpartisan. That this race, I was a PAC committee chair for my union. This race has to be one of the most partisan races I've ever seen for a nonpartisan race. It's laughable in some sense. It's kind of depressing in others because people talk down to people that have different ideas. I embrace people that have different ideas because if you don't listen to other people's ideas, they don't make you think and grow. And that's what I think being nonpartisan and why I think I would be such a great candidate for the city council is because I'm willing to listen to everybody, take in the information. And then unfortunately, you will always have someone that doesn't like your decision, no matter what your decision is. But as long as you can sit there, get up in the morning, look in the mirror and say you did the best you could for all of the citizens as a whole, that's what it's about. And keeping our community safe, secure, and happy, I think, are the ultimate goals of a city council member. So that's why I would greatly endorse or greatly appreciate your vote on November 7th for me. I also talked to Harmony about this before. If she wins, I will be more than happy to congratulate her because it truly is. We've had great conversations. I like Harmony. Hopefully the best candidate wins. Either one of us, I think, would be a great candidate. So.
All right.
Right back at you, Patrick. Right back at you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck the rest of the way the ballots are out. People making some decisions right now in the Squim area, and there's one right there between Patrick Day and Harmony Rudder, who are running for position 6 on the Squim City Council. We're going to take a break, and we're going to talk a little Squim School Board when we come back on the other side of the break. Stick around.
Hi, this is Connie Beaufait. I'm running for re-election as Port Commissioner because I want a prosperous county, and our port is the economic driver that can get us there. I'll continue to make our port work for you. Developing the Marine Trades Industrial Park and promoting value-added wood products will create more family wage jobs to help our economy thrive. I ask for your vote this fall.
Paid for by Re-elect Connie for Port.
I'm Connie Beaufait, candidate for Port Commission. I approved this ad.
Enjoy the fall season with help from Airport Garden Center. Stop by and see our garden experts. They'll help you create a beautiful yard and garden that will come back year after year. And with fall in the air, we're offering deep discounts now at Airport Garden Center. Our huge fall plant sale is on now. Each week, catch a different plant category at 40% off. And all month long, receive 20% off evergreen shrubs, glazed outdoor pottery, and wooden trellises. And it's the perfect time to boost your lawn with a buy 3, get the 4th bag free sale going on all month long on G&B Soil Building Conditioner. View our sale flyer on the website or social media to find out which plants will be on sale each week. Are you looking for a special, unique gift? Airport Garden Center is proud to support locally sourced items. Full Moon Candles and Pacific Rain Shadow Farms handcrafted soap, just to name a few. Airport Garden Center, planting knowledge, growing gardeners since 1977.
It's National Kerostan Month at McCrory Carpet One, which means big savings for you. When you choose Kerostan flooring, you choose timeless pieces that fit perfectly within your home, flawlessly crafted for long-lasting beauty. And when pairing Kerostan with expert installation from McCrory Carpet One, you have flooring that stands the test of time. During Kerostan Month, you'll find prices starting at just $2.99 a square foot for carpet and $4.99 a square foot for LVP. Make sure you ask about free installation. National Kerostan Month at McCrory Carpet One, going on now.
All right, we'll take another quick break and check in with the news on the bottom of the hour. Be back with more as we'll talk with the Squim School District Director number 1 position. John Graham and Larry Jeffries will be in next right after this.
Red Carpet Car Wash in Carlsberg is always adding to the list of things they provide to keep your vehicle looking brand new. The full detail shop is just one more service to check off that list. Not only will your interior and exterior shine, your engine will sparkle too. Red Carpet is also getting some winter upgrades, including new equipment in the manual bay and new vacuums. Call Kyle today and let him get you scheduled for your red carpet treatment Tuesday through Saturday. 360-461-0826.
At Olympic Peninsula Title, old-fashioned customer service never goes out of style. We've been closing real estate transactions in Clallam County for 40 years and have earned the repeat business of our customers. We treat people with respect, do what we say, put the security of our customers' funds and information as priority number one, and always provide service with a smile. When it's time to choose a title company to close your transaction, opt for Olympic Peninsula Title. See why we've been voted best title company in Clallam County over and over again.
Your battery is the heart of your electrical system, so be sure to check the health of your battery with the Heartline. The Heartline on the truck route is your battery connection for cars, bikes, commercial, marine, and power sports. You can rely on the Heartline, as so many locals and travelers have for 44 years. Your one-stop battery shop on the truck route. Don't be caught in the cold. Come in for a battery check today at the one place you can trust, the Heartline. Top of the truck route, Port Angeles.
Building a future, sharing a dream, working together, we're on the same team.
At Straight View Credit Union, we know that buying a home is a big decision, and that's why we're committed to offering local decisions made by local decision makers. Our mortgage team is comprised of experienced professionals who are intimately familiar with the Clallam County housing market, ensuring that you get the personalized attention and expertise you deserve. We're here to help you navigate the home buying process and make the best decisions for your unique financial situation. Plus, as a member-owned cooperative, we prioritize the needs of our members and our local community over profits. That's why we're proud to offer great mortgage rates that help support our members' dreams of homeownership. Straight View Credit Union, your trusted local financial partner. Visit us online at svcu.com or stop by our branch on Lincoln Street in PA. Insured by NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
We belong to you.
For the Washington State News Network, I'm Rob Francis. After much of Washington State took part in the Great Shakeout earthquake drills, the Department of Natural Resources has unveiled new tsunami evacuation maps and videos. The maps estimates the time evacuees could reach safety by foot, walking 2.46 miles per hour in the event of a tsunami caused by a quake in the Cascadia subduction zone. The sets of simulation videos show the extent and depth of on-land flooding and maximum current velocities from a modeled magnitude 9.0 Cascadia earthquake and tsunami. Studies show it could take just 10 to 15 minutes for a quake-triggered tsunami to crash into the Washington coastline. As part of the Target Zero statewide initiative, the State Department of Transportation can make more improvements to Highway 395 in eastern Washington. Despite the addition of deceleration, acceleration, and turn lanes along the 76-mile stretch of highway, high impact and sometimes deadly crashes continue to happen.
We are taking steps to review the speed limit. We're also taking a look at the opportunities to increase the sight distance while entering from those side roads.
And a video released by a Shell gas station owner in North Seattle captured a robbery that took place Saturday night around 11:30 p.m. 7 masked men rolled up to the gas station in 2 gray SUVs. One of the 7 pulled a gun on the station employee who fought back. The thieves made off with vaping materials along with rolling papers. If anyone has information, you're asked to reach out to the North Seattle Police Precinct. For more on these stories and others, download the WSNN mobile app or visit our website, WashingtonStateNews.net.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast. Highs level off around 55 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies. West winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Chance for scattered showers tonight. Lows around 40. Cloudy skies. Scattered rain showers likely tomorrow. Highs level off around 48. Cloudy skies expected. Mid-40s Wednesday and Thursday with showers possible both days. I'm weatherology meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 56 degrees.
And we're back. Switch gears now. Still in the Sequim area, but maybe a little wider voter base, as we're going to be talking with candidates for one of the positions up for Sequim School Board, and that is position number 1. And we welcome the incumbent in that race, Larry Jeffries, and John Graham is the challenger. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in. Good to have both of you come in for a few minutes. And as I always do, I give the incumbent the first crack at an opening statement. So that would be you, Larry. Maybe a couple minutes about you and why you're running again.
Sure. Larry Jeffries. And I live in Sequim, moved there in 2013 after buying a home in 2011, after I retired, after 45 years in education, mostly in New Mexico. Moved to Sequim after my daughter brought us up here one weekend in 2010. And something snapped in my brain that, hey, I think I could retire here. And kind of studied up on Sequim. And so I chose Sequim, and here we are, my wife and I. And been excellent experience. I've been on the school board for the last 4 years, and before that, well, actually, I'm a retired educator that failed at retirement. So almost as soon as I got to Sequim, I started getting involved in school meetings, school committees, and that sort of thing. And one thing led to another, and here I am for the last 4 years on the school board. I thought after 45 years in education, school board, easy peasy. It isn't that way. Nothing is simple. It's always complicated. When I was a teacher, I always had the simple solution. Why doesn't the school board just do this or that? And it's never that simple. But I thought I could try to make a difference and improve things in Sequim education. When I moved here, the first thing that I saw were the facilities, and I wondered, how is it that Sequim has allowed their facilities, their school facilities, to get in this condition of needing repair and replacement, where I had been used to other school districts that regularly replace their buildings. And then as I got into it, I was thought that the education achievement and student success could improve. So that's kind of what I've been working at after the last 4 years, and I decided the job isn't done yet, so I was going to run again. So here we go.
Thanks, Larry. We'll swing over now to John. A little bit about you and why you're running.
Yes. My name is John Graham. I'm married with two kids. We moved to Sequim in 2001 for work. I worked with Washington State Parks, came from the Shelton area. Was at Sequim Bay for 12 years. Our kids were 2 and 4 when we moved here, so they were here for the Sequim School District the whole time. We didn't have them in the public schools the whole time because we just didn't feel that they were getting the education and more of the one-on-one that they needed, but they ultimately went back during high school and actually did the running start and came out with a 2-year degree as well, so that was an awesome program. A lot of why I'm running is I just don't feel like the quality is there, because in the last school board meeting I attended on Monday, this is an average between language arts, math, and science. 50% met the standards. I mean, that's failing in my mind. Nothing really was said at that point. Maybe they talk later at private, park board meetings to figure out what they can do, but nothing was really mentioned. And I think that needs to change. And a lot of that's the curriculum. Back in the early 2000s is when Obama did this Common Core. I thought it, being ignorant at the time, my girls were in school, thought it was a math thing, because when we asked what math this was, they said, oh, it's Common Core. And I didn't understand it was a whole curriculum philosophy of teaching. So that's not working based on the number that they have. And that needs to change. And I think I can be helpful. And there's other curriculums out there. Hillsdale has a K through 12 curriculum that's proven that we could, investigate, for example, and other ones as well, I'm sure. Everything, the food quality, I found out Sedesco is nationwide. They're out of France. Their food is not only poor in nutrition, but has many bad things in it, pesticides and hormones and things that can affect kids. They don't even want to give whole milk anymore. Well, your brain needs fat to develop, so there's nothing wrong with whole milk, for example. So the food quality is, I think, important for their education as well. The buses came up this last meeting as well. It was really informative, actually, on Monday. Someone called in, a parent, upset because their elementary school kid is on a bus with high schoolers and middle schoolers. And they're talking about how high schoolers are watching porn on their phones. I mean, and language and everything else. There's no reason for elementary school kids to be on this bus. They can do high school, then come back and get elementary. So there's things I think we can work on through the whole gamut of the quality curriculum, food, buses, and much more. And I feel like I can bring some new light to that, being as my kids kind of went through it and grew up in the district.
All right. We'll go over to you, Larry, for the first question here. And it's facilities related. I guess we'll just kind of pick up on that because that certainly has been an issue. You both have brought up facilities in your opening remarks. If elected or reelected, how do you approach getting facilities? It's a two-part question. Improved to a level that you might be more satisfied with, and also, a lot of controversy about the realignment and some things that came up in this passing. Is that something that you feel that the district needs to continue exploring or doing in order to kind of make the best of the facilities it has right now?
Well, the facilities, a lot of our facilities, when I first moved. Let me start over again. When I first moved to Sequim, I got involved in 2014 with the bond issue that was running then, which failed. Visited all the schools and said, wow, especially the science labs. I was a science teacher, and these are pretty old science labs that really do no longer meet the needs of the 21st century. And we're a quarter away into the 21st century already. And I thought, we need to improve it. The bond issue, bonds build the buildings. We get the money in a big lump sum so we can actually attack and build buildings, new elementary schools, new science rooms, that sort of thing. And, of course, bonds require a 60% supermajority. So that's one reason why we haven't updated facilities since, 96, the middle school, and H-Wing over there at the high school, the last facilities we built. We are in the middle of a $15 million levy. Of course, the levy, we get 2 payments a year, little chunks every year, so we have to carefully plan how that money is spent. And we've made some significant progress on the facilities, yes, and we're making more. One of the big ones that I'd point to is we finally got the gym floor, high school gym main floor replaced. So instead of playing essentially on hard concrete, now they've got a state-of-the-art floor they can play on. As far as the realignment and facilities, we first started talking about that because of budget concerns. And then as the budget developed and the state came up with a little bit more money and so on, we found that the budget concern wasn't so much, but we had been talking about realignment for a few years prior to this. And the purpose of the realignment isn't so much facility, it's so that the K2 kids now at Gray Wolf will focus on literacy, learning how to read. And basically the kids 3-5 over in Helen Haller, they'll focus on reading and social skills and reading to learn. And then also preparing those kids when they get to 5th grade to move on to the 6th grade, to the middle school. So it is facility related in that we've had to do a significant amount of infrastructure improvement, especially the Helen Haller, to get it up to speed. So we have, the electrical plug-ins to plug in new technology, new equipment, or just a light.
All right. John, over to you. Same question a bit about if elected, how do you deal with facility issues, or how would you approach that?
Well, I agree with a lot of what Larry was just saying about most of that. A lot of what I would look into, because I haven't had the tour of what's here and what's needed, would be more or less equipment for the facilities. CTE is not school related, but it has to do with where it starts in high school especially. I'm not sure what their automotive, their metal shop, their wood, things where we need these skills in the community. Otherwise we have no truckers, we have no food. I mean, things are important that they learn, not just reading and writing, arithmetic and history. It's the same thing along with computers. It's a growing field. I mean, we're not going to get away from it any longer. So getting the top of the line computer systems so they can learn what's out there. I know back when I was in high school, everybody wanted to be computer game programmers. That was a big thing. And that's kind of changed just because of everything's made through machines now and programs. So a lot of what I would want to see is what's in the facility being good quality and have the availability. It doesn't really start so much in middle school other than, what's out there for career-wise that they can work toward, but having what they need as well, whether it be computers, because you start young. I mean, you see little kids on tablets now, so technology is a big issue and making sure they have that equipment available.
All right, John, we'll stick with you on this next question. Communications are very important, between the school board, school districts, and the public. If elected or reelected, what would you do to help improve that, or even expand on it?
Well, part of what I said at the very beginning, I'm just repeating, is I'd like to see every parent get an email for the next school board meeting. I don't remember really anything about that when my kids were in the schools. I don't even know there was a school board. I mean, they went to school, they learned, they came home. So every parent would get an email. If they choose to opt out, great. They've been informed to show up, give them the agenda, which is available online. A lot of statistics are online and whatnot. So communication that way so they can have the input. Yeah.
Okay. Larry, your thoughts about communication if reelected? What would you do to improve that?
Well, communication was a topic that came up a lot here with this reconfiguration. And one of my commitments, if reelected, is to improve the communications input. I think the schools do a pretty good job of trying to get the word out, either through email, Skyward blasts email out, web pages, newsletters, so the information is going out. What I think we could improve on is making sure we get information in. So that's going to mean reaching out to the parents in the community to sit down and figure out ways that we can sit down with the community and say, tell us what you are concerned about, tell us your ideas, your solutions. Now, being on the school board, of course, it becomes a little bit difficult because I'm a publicly elected official. If there's more than 2 school board members at any one of those meetings, we have a possible quorum. So those have to be carefully arranged so that we don't violate the Open Public Meeting Act laws. I would encourage people to get involved with the PTA. The elementary schools, Helen Haller PTO and the Gray Wolf PTA combined, and now we have one SQUIM elementary PTA, and I highly urge people to get involved. And for the first time, the middle school, or for the first time in a long time, the middle school has started a PTO organization, and they've met several times already, and I would encourage parents to get involved with that PTO as a way to learn what's going on. But coming up with innovative, out-of-the-box thinking, some ways of getting input from the community, from the parents, but also from the business community and from service organizations, being able to sit down and listen to what they have to say. Now, listening doesn't mean we're going to necessarily do what they want. We're going to listen, take in their input, and we feed that back to the superintendent. That's one of our jobs as a school board, is to hire a superintendent and let them run the schools. And but it's important to get that feedback in. So we'd collaborate with the superintendent. What's the best way to get as good of input into our decision making as possible?
All right, the clock is a cruel taskmaster, and we're almost out of time. I want to give each of you a couple of minutes to give a why we should vote for you. So, Larry, I'll go and ask you that question right there. Why should we vote for Larry Jeffries?
Why should you vote for me? Well, first of all, the job isn't done. I've learned a lot, and I'm continuing to learn about what it means to be on the school board. It's like I said before, as a teacher, I could sit in the teacher's lounge and think of all kinds of simple answers for the board and the superintendent, but nothing is simple when it comes to deciding what's best for the kids and how to improve education. I think, to paraphrase something Wayne Gretzky, the hockey player, said, in his success, he goes to where the puck is going to be, not where it's been or where it is. And that's the trick, is trying to figure out what's coming. My 45 years in education, I think, prepared me for some of that. It prepared me for some of the realities of education. But at the same time, I know there's more yet to come, and we need to as a board and as a school system to be ready for that. There's all kinds of initiatives coming up, both legislative and internally in the schools, that we have to be real prepared to handle. But I think we have the administrators, we have the teachers, and we definitely have the parents and students that can do better and show real achievement in academic and student success.
All right. Thanks, Larry. Same question for you, John Graham. Why should we vote for you?
Well, Todd, our founding fathers gave us this constitutional republic, and I want to get back to those basics, kind of go backwards, I said in one of my statements. The curriculum's not working. What we've had before in the past, some of it did work better. Our kids are acting up in school. There's family issues. All this stuff's tied to the family unit, and now we're having to deal with kids that are misbehaving or dropping out. 56% only have a 90% attendance rate in the school, so they don't want to go to school for some reason. So a lot of it has to do with family issues and how society has taken masculinity and just destroyed it, and that's corrupted the home. And so now these kids are acting out. They're being taught things that I think are motivated by people that don't have their interest in mind. If you have more people misbehaving, you need more people to correct them, and eventually you have no freedom because everybody's screaming for help. I believe morality needs to be taught in the schools. There is a way of doing that. I mean, who decides right from wrong? Why is stealing bad? Who decided? A lot of these things need to come back. I mean, at one time we had the 10 Commandments, in the schools. Is it bad to not kill? I mean, we need to get back to the basics, I think, and from there we're going to get better education. The civic aspect, part of when I was part of the 15 meeting SQUIM school future planning because I wanted to know what SQUIM wanted to do. I was one of the few that marked civics and civics and ethical is number one, because if you've got a kid that starts out there, you're going to have someone that's flexible and have the ability critical think and make collaborative decisions, be resilient based on they want to be a good person and do what's right. So there's a lot I think that we can look at and change, and that would just better the community, better the country in general. So that's why.
All right. John Graham, thank you for coming down and spending some time with our listeners. Larry Jeffries, likewise, Thanks for coming down. Good to see you all again.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Larry.
We're going to take a break. We've got news coming up next. Stick around.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
Red Carpet Car Wash in Carlsberg is always adding to the list of things they provide to keep your vehicle looking brand new. The full detail shop is just one more service to check off that list. Not only will your interior and exterior shine, your engine will sparkle too. Red Carpet is also getting some winter upgrades, including new equipment in the manual bay and new vacuums. Call Kyle today and let him get you scheduled for your red carpet treatment Tuesday through Saturday. 360-461-0826.
Planting in fall shouldn't be spooky. Save the sticker shock and enjoy 20% off now through the 30th at New Dungeness Nursery in Squim. Yes, our owners Stu and Doug Coburn insist that now is a great time to plant. Take advantage of Mother Nature doing the watering and softening of your soil. Don't miss out on the best plant prices of the year. Greenhouse is chock full of pollinator and brimming with the beautiful colors of fall. Established fruit trees already bearing crop, shade-providing trees, and unique rare dwarf conifers from specialty growers. Something your neighbors will never have. And best yet, we offer free delivery to both Clallam and Jefferson counties following the sale. Come visit the only nursery that stays fully stocked and fully staffed year-round on the Olympic Peninsula. Open 9 till 5, 7 days a week. 360-681-0132. We're at 4911 Squim Dungeness Way. The New Dungeness Nursery Fall Sale. Going on now through the 30th.
When every second counts, you need the best care. Olympic Medical Center's emergency department is making significant updates to ensure you receive faster, more efficient care. A streamlined process means you'll receive expert attention from our healthcare team starting the moment you're triaged. OMC is also the only Level 3 trauma center on the North Olympic Peninsula, meaning we're prepared to quickly handle true emergencies and traumas when they arrive. Learn more about what we're doing at olympicmedical.org/emergency updates.
First Fed brings you this look back in Olympic Peninsula history. Diamond Point between Sequim and Discovery Bays was the site of the Port Townsend Quarantine Station. The quarantine station quarantined ship passengers. Before they entered Puget Sound, the station grew to nearly 30 buildings, including a hospital and a graveyard for the 22 individuals rumored to be lepers who did not survive treatment. With the completion of a new station at Point Hudson, the Diamond Point site was sold as government surplus. Join First Fed